All right, hello Webb families. Welcome to our chat series online for parents. Today I have Mark and Michael with us, and we're going to chat about Canvas, which is our new learning management system, and a little bit about how they see collaboration happening in an online environment. So again, my name is Jennifer Liu. I graduated from Webb in 2005, and I'm the Director of Parent Relations and Special Events. And now I'm going to hand it over to Mark so he can introduce himself and tell us a little bit about what he does at Webb.
Hi, I'm Mark Jula. I'm the Director of Teaching and Learning Resources at Webb. I run the library, and I'm very excited to get this LMS up and running, get our students in it.
Hi, everybody. I'm Michael Ho. I'm also a graduate of Webb, class of 2004, and I'm the Director of Studies here, and I've been working closely with Mark all summer to try to get Canvas up and running so that we have a really engaging, vibrant online learning experience.
Thanks. Thank you guys for joining us. All right, Mark, let's just dive into it. As a teacher, what do you like more about Canvas? And this is kind of a two-part question, what kind of online learning experience can students kind of engage in while they're using Canvas?
Canvas is really intuitive. It's really powerful. It can host a lot of different kinds of media. It really facilitates discussions very, very well. We have an exciting tool called Studio that allows people to not only post videos, but also use them as discussion prompts to kind of get people more present in the online space. And I'm really impressed by the rich content editor where you can embed a lot of different material. So it's really dynamic, it's easy to use, and it's, yeah, it looks really good.
All right, so I know, Michael, you have been kind of involved in getting faculty set up and learning how to use Canvas as well. So can you talk a little bit about how teachers are setting up their pages and kind of what features and functions they're excited to use in their different courses?
Yeah, so Canvas is like Mark said, a really great and powerful LMS. We thought really hard about what our teachers needed, and most importantly, what our students needed before we actually made the move. And so everybody's Canvas page has the basic general a common shell or skeleton. So all of the navigation and the buttons on the left-hand side all are the same, and they use the same language. So students should be able to easily navigate from class to class and page to page. Now, obviously, teachers are going to add their own personal flair and their personality to each page with images and fonts and videos and music. And so, of course, we wanted teachers to be able to obviously have some personality online as well. But in terms of the navigation, the general navigation layout of each page, it's pretty similar across the board. We're also going to be utilizing what we're calling a unit cadence throughout this year, and that's going to happen across all disciplines. So it doesn't matter which class you're in. If your teacher says that in Unit 1, we're in the explore phase, to students, that should automatically indicate that that's where you're starting to get messy and you're starting to dig into the material and the content a little bit. If you're in a study phase or if you're in the framing, that means you're at the beginning of the unit, and it's just setting the unit up and giving you all the resources and the content that you need in order to then dive into the explore phase and then the extend phase, which is kind of where you make that next jump, and then the perform phase, which is where, ultimately going to be some sort of summative assessment at the end. So all of the teachers across, like I said, across all disciplines are using that same language and that same cadence in order to help students, better navigate where they are and stop spending so much time figuring out what they need to do, and be able to just click right on and know exactly where they're going. And so that's how teachers are kind of thinking about universalizing the experience for students and making sure that everybody has the same consistent experience across the board.
Great. So I think Canvas sounds really exciting. I think it sounds like it's going to be a very different experience from our old system, Haiku. And I'm, very excited to hear that students will be engaged in different ways, whether it's using media, whether it's collaborating on projects. And I think an important part that we've all worked really hard this summer on is making sure that we're not just being on Zoom, right? That it's not kind of a lecture like class and there's going to be hands-on experiences. So we just want parents to know that your students will get a lot of time during orientation to familiarize themselves with Canvas, and that it is a learning space for faculty and students to engage in. And we're really excited to show you kind of all the work that has gone into the different classroom pages. So Mark, let's switch gears a little bit. So the Fawcett Library, I think whether we're online or in person, is this kind of this hub of great activity, right? I think when you walk into Fawcett, whether it's a studious kind of atmosphere or you're doing kind of your Friday concert series, there's an energy and a pulse to it, right? So while we're online now, can you talk about a little bit about kind of the awesome resources that students are able to access?
Absolutely, and I'll share my screen. If you go into the SIS, into web.myschoolapp.com, you'll be able to find a Fawcett Library tab. Hello, there's
A book.
by an alum. That's our legendary ceiling, the octagon. We go into Fawcett Library and we can find our library databases that are available off-site. So we have things like the Oxford English Dictionary, note-taking study tools like Noodle tools that will help with, especially with reports. We have a suite of really great databases like EBSCOhost, JSTOR, and ProQuest, and Encyclopedia Britannica. Web students also have access to the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times online, and we'll be able to put more of these details up as the year begins. But I just want to emphasize that we do have very powerful digital tools, and a major goal of the library is to also augment and build out these digital tools that we have access to. Yeah.
Great. So again, students, as you're kind of going through orientation and working on your group projects, please know that the Fawcett Library and its staff members are always a great resource for you. So if you're looking for ideas and if you're looking for always more information, reach out to your teachers, reach out to the Fawcett Library staff. Okay, so kind of my last question for our conversation today is, how do you guys see collaboration happening in an online environment? You know, for myself, I'm a staff member, and just even since work from home, I've seen like my staff develop new communication tools and strategies as we're online. So I think the same will be for students and faculty as well. So how do you see that happening in an online learning environment? So let's start with Mark first, and then we'll end with Mike.
I can speak very personally in terms of journalism. I'm very excited to have a global publication, right? Bureaus, all in all different countries, different continents, and all people coming together. And that's very, very exciting. And I think when people have a common goal, common projects, and are motivated and inspired, you see some really exciting collaboration happen. And then we have tools like Canvas or our Microsoft Office 365, these suites of tools that kind of pull people together and allow them to collaborate well and create something meaningful. So I see that happen in my journalism class a lot. I saw it happen in the spring. I'm really excited for it to happen this year. I think it's going to be a really wonderful and unique situation.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, you know, I think when everything happened in March and all schools were going online, immediately people jumped to online collaboration as Zoom rooms. But you know, as a lot of research and studies have shown, students actually have a hard time engaging on Zoom because it's awkward. It's not natural. It's not what we're used to. It's not like we're in person. And there's a lot of pressure when everyone sees your face constantly and there's that speaker halo. So, you know, I think there's a common misconception that online collaboration means being live synchronously all the time. But as Mark and I have found out, as we have kind of been putting Canvas together and thinking through different ways we can collaborate, and all the department chairs have been as well, a lot of online collaboration actually happens offline. It happens asynchronously. And when students have the time and the space to reflect a little bit and to think and not have the pressure of speaking in the moment, it actually helps them to engage a little deeper in the material and gives them a little more meaningful connection with their students. So there are things we can do on Canvas, like discussion boards, where students can just type text, they can record their voice, they can record their video, so they can actually do little video segments back and forth and respond to each other like that. There are ways in which teachers can set up individual pages to have them be student landing pages or student hubs. I'm thinking for my personal class to have just the Meet Your Class page and having kind of a weekly or a bi-weekly update of introducing a friend or a classmate so that you get to know each other. Obviously, there's email and there's text and there's all kinds of other modes of communication that students can do in classes. Thinking about ways in which we can have our students who are in the daytime classes and the evening classes interact with one another. There are some really easy, unique ways. For instance, having a student peer edit another student's paper in a different time zone. That's relatively easy to do, and it's also going to provide that collaboration, that engagement. In a science class, having a student walk through half the protocol, and then the other student in the other time zone has to pick up right where they left off and think about, why they started a specific experiment this way or that, or analyzing their data or something like that. So there are all kinds of ways in which asynchronous online learning environments actually open the door to a lot of deep collaboration and engagement. I know personally from academic council, the department chairs have been thinking really, really intensely and deeply about how we are going to ensure that collaboration and participation and engagement are, emphasized in our online classroom spaces. Because it looks a little different online, but I think everybody is attuned to that. We all are huge school nerds and keep up with the research and all the literature. So I feel like we're in a really good place, and I feel confident that we're going to see some really creative and fun ways to make sure that the collaboration is happening.
Great. Thank you guys both so much for joining me online today. And parents, again, this is just a brief kind of intro into what Canvas and collaboration will look like. And I think as you guys see throughout orientation and as your students settle into Time Module 1 and begin their coursework, I hope you guys will kind of be able to see kind of their growth in their own classrooms and the skills that they work on. And as always, there's many layers of support at the Webb School, so we're always here to answer your questions. So make sure you tune in to tomorrow's orientation activities, and we hope you have a good day. Bye.
Bye.